I hate you. Just disappear from my side.
What? You're evil. I thought you're my best friend and you wanted me dead.
Cut that crab, girl. You think I care?
They thought I was gone, burned, buried, forgotten, but I'm still here, watching, waiting, and before this is over, every single person who lied at my funeral is going to wish I stayed dead. I'm Emma Carter. And this is how I came back.
Subscribe to Chi Chi Fairy Tales.
The rain was coming down hard. Thick drops hit the windshield like pebbles. The road was slick, dark, and empty, just how Emma planned it. She gripped the wheel with both hands. Her heart pounded so loud, it almost drowned out the storm. This is it, she whispered to herself. No turning back. On the passenger seat sat her phone, screen cracked, battery at 12%. It was still recording, just like she needed. Emma had been practicing the audio all week. Crying. Screaming. The sound of tires skidding. Now, it was time to play it. She pressed play, then dropped the phone to the floor, letting the fake sounds fill the car. Next, she unbuckled her seatbelt, opened the door, and ran fast into the woods. Behind her, the car kept rolling. She watched from behind a tree as it hit the barrier and skidded off the road. It tumbled down the hill and disappeared into the trees. Then came the boom, fire, smoke, sparks. Emma flinched but didn't move. This was all part of the plan. She pulled the hood of her coat over her head and waited. 10 minutes, 15, then sirens, red and blue lights flashed through the trees. Voices shouted. People ran. She must have lost control. No way she survived that. Emma's hands were shaking, not from fear but from something else. Excitement. Relief. Maybe both. She stepped back slowly, careful not to snap a twig under her feet. She couldn't be seen. Not yet. A fake death only works if everyone believes it. By morning, the news would say Emma Carter, 29, died in a car crash on Rainhill Road. But the truth, Emma was very much alive, and she was about to find out who really cared and who never did. 3 days later, Emma stood across the street in the rain. A black umbrella covered most of her face. Dark jeans, old boots, and a hoodie helped her blend in. No one noticed her. No one even looked. Across the road, people gathered outside the white church, all of them dressed in black. Some hugged. Some cried, a few smiled like they were just glad to be seen. Emma's heart beat like a drum in her chest. They really believed it. They believed she was gone. Her car had burned so badly, they couldn't even find a full body. Just her necklace. The gold one with the tiny E. She made sure to leave it on the seat before she ran. Her ex-boyfriend, Jason, stood at the front of the crowd. Black suit. No tie. Hands in his pockets like he didn't know what to do with himself. Emma stared at him. He looked sad, or maybe just tired. Hard to tell. But the woman standing next to him, Claire, her best friend, she had her arm looped through Jason's like they'd been close for a while. Too close. Emma's stomach dropped. 2 weeks ago, Claire was crying in Emma's kitchen, saying she'd never find love. That she was too broken. Emma had held her hand, poured her tea, and told her everything would be okay. Now she was holding Jason's hand at her funeral. Emma tightened her grip on the umbrella. She wasn't surprised. Not really. She'd had a feeling for months, the way Claire laughed a little too loud at Jason's jokes. How she always showed up when Emma wasn't home. Still, seeing it, it hurt more than she expected. She pulled out her small black notebook and wrote one line, Claire and Jason together. Then she flipped to a new page and wrote, who else is lying? The funeral was just the beginning. Now it was time to find out the truth. The day after the funeral, the world moved on. People posted their R.I.P. Emma photos on Instagram, adding filters and fake tears. Some even used the hashtag #GoneTooSoon. Emma scrolled in silence from her hiding place, a small cabin an hour outside the city. No one knew about it. It belonged to her late uncle, and it had no Wi-Fi, no cameras, and just enough signal to keep her phone alive. She watched the posts come in. People she barely spoke to were calling her a sister. Old co-workers said she was the light of the office. Even her old college roommate, the one who stole her laptop in senior year, wrote a long tribute. Fake. All of it. But that wasn't what got her attention. It was Claire. She had posted a picture of Emma and Jason from a party 2 years ago. Emma was laughing in the middle, between them. Claire had cropped herself out. The caption, "You'll always be a part of us. Broken heart, we miss you every day." Every day. Emma died 3 days ago. That's when it hit her. Claire was already writing Emma out of the story. Emma grabbed her notebook and added, "Claire's lying, and not just about Jason." Then she opened the second phone. The secret one. She hadn't used it in months. But now, she needed it. She logged into a fake profile. No name, no photos. Just a fresh account and one message. To Claire, "I know what you did." She didn't sign it. She didn't explain, just sent the message and waited. It didn't take long. Claire read it in under a minute. Then came the reply, "Who is this?" Emma smiled. She didn't answer. Let her wonder. Let her squirm. This was only the beginning. Someone was going to crack, and Emma was going to be there when they did. 3 days after she sent the message, Emma got her first warning. It came in the middle of the night. She was sitting by the cabin window, wrapped in a blanket, watching the moon. Her phone buzzed once. No caller ID. Just a voicemail. She didn't answer, but she listened. A man's voice. Low. Shaky. "I don't know who you are. But if you don't stop, someone's gonna get hurt. Walk away." Then, click. No name. No clue who it was. Emma stared at the screen. This wasn't a prank anymore. She'd expected whispers, maybe guilt. But this. A threat. She played the voicemail again. Slower this time. She didn't recognize the voice, but something about the way he said someone felt pointed. She opened her notebook and wrote, "Threat received. Voice equals male." "Nervous," said someone, "not you." Means someone else is involved. She couldn't go to the police, she was dead. And whoever this was. They wanted her to stay that way. Emma took a deep breath. She wasn't scared. Not yet, but she needed more information. So she started digging. She logged into her second fake profile. This one was built to look real. Fake photos. A borrowed name, Sophie Green. Friendly. Forgettable. She added Claire first. Then Jason. They both accepted within the hour. By the end of the day, she had access to everything. Stories, private posts, comments. She scrolled through their old photos like a detective. Zooming in on faces, backgrounds, small details. That's when she found something. A picture taken 1 week before the crash, a dinner party. Claire. Jason. A few others. In the background, barely visible, was her boss, Mr. Lewis. He'd sent her flowers after the funeral. Handwritten card. Called her one of the brightest souls at the firm. But he was at a party with Jason and Claire. Why didn't she know that? Emma circled his face on the screen with her finger. "Looks like my work life wasn't as boring as I thought," she whispered. Someone was lying. And now, she had 3 suspects. Emma couldn't sleep. The warning voicemail kept playing in her mind, over and over, like a broken record. If you don't stop, someone's gonna get hurt. But who? She needed more answers, and fast. The next morning, she left the cabin before sunrise. Hood up. Sunglasses on. She walked 3 miles to a tiny gas station where no one knew her. She bought a burner SIM card and swapped it into her backup phone. No GPS. No name. No way to trace her. Still, she felt it, that creeping feeling, like someone was following her. At first, she told herself it was just paranoia, but then, the glove box. When she got back to the cabin and opened the car door, the glove box was open. She never left it open, and inside, a note, just 1 line, written in thick black ink, "Dead girls don't check messages." Emma froze. She looked around the trees. Nothing. Silence. Just wind in the leaves. Who had been here? How did they find her? She grabbed the note with her sleeve, careful not to touch it. Her hands were shaking now, not from cold, but something sharper, fear. Whoever left it knew where she was. Knew she was alive. And they were close enough to get into her car without leaving a trace. She took out her notebook and flipped to a clean page. Somebody is watching me. This is no longer just about lies. It's about survival. That night, she didn't turn on the lights. She sat by the window with a kitchen knife in her hand, watching the trees, listening for footsteps. At 2:14 a.m., her phone buzzed. One photo. No text. It was a picture of her standing in line at the gas station that morning. Taken from behind, Emma's breath caught in her throat. They were there. They were following her, in public, in daylight, and she had no idea. She whispered to herself, I wanted the truth. But what if the truth wants me dead? Emma didn't sleep, not even a little. She sat by the door with a knife in one hand, her phone in the other, staring at that photo, the one someone took of her in line at the gas station. They were close. Watching. Maybe even waiting. She thought she was in control. But now, someone else was pulling the strings. By sunrise, she was already dressed. Backpack ready. No more hiding. If they wanted to scare her, fine. But she wasn't going to disappear for real. Not without answers. She drove into the city using back roads. Hoodie up. Glasses on. She parked 4 blocks from her old office and walked the rest. Her target, Mr. Lewis, her boss. The one she saw in that photo with Jason and Claire. The one who called her bright at the funeral. But never once showed up when she was falling apart at work. She waited outside the office building, behind a bus stop ad, watching the front door. At 9:13 a.m., he walked in, alone. Emma followed him inside. She didn't speak to him. Didn't confront him. Not yet. Instead, she used her old employee badge, the one she never returned, and slipped into the back staircase. She knew the security code to the second floor. And more importantly, she knew where they kept the paper records, old HR files, written notes, things not stored online. She found the cabinet with her name on it. Emma Carter. But that wasn't all she found. 2 drawers below hers was a file labeled, Claire M. Halston Incident Report. Emma froze. She opened it. Inside, photos. Printouts. A police report. A copy of a hospital bill. It was dated 7 months ago. Claire had filed a complaint. Someone had attacked her outside a bar. No charges filed. But the report said something else that made Emma's blood run cold. Victim believes the assault was connected to internal firm conflict. Names withheld. Jason's name was scribbled in the margin. Jason. Claire. Mr. Lewis. They were all tied to something darker, something Emma had no idea. And then she saw it, a yellow sticky note, stuck to the back of the file. 5 names. Emma's was the last one. 4 were crossed out. She wasn't looking for the truth anymore, she was trying to survive it. Emma didn't breathe for a full minute. The sticky note in her hand felt heavier than the file. 5 names, 4 crossed out, hers still there. Who were the others? She snapped a picture of the list before slipping the paper into her jacket. Something deeper was happening. This wasn't just about Jason cheating or Claire lying. This was a pattern, a plan, a cover-up, and she was next. She slipped out of the office unnoticed, heart pounding like a war drum. She didn't go back to the cabin. She couldn't. Not when someone already knew where it was. Instead, she used a library computer downtown to search the names from the note one by one. Every single one had worked at the firm. And every single one had either resigned suddenly, or was dead. Accidents. Fires. Disappearances. Emma stared at the screen. What had she been a part of? Why was she on the list? She almost didn't hear the message ping. New email, no subject. No sender. Just a line of text, we warned you. Attached was a photo, grainy, but clear, Emma. Standing in the HR office. Holding the file, someone had been there. Watching, she shut the laptop, grabbed her bag, ran, but she wasn't fast enough. As she rounded the corner of the library, someone stepped out in front of her. Jason. He looked tired, nervous, pale, but not surprised. Emma, he said quietly, I didn't want you to find out this way. She stepped back. What is this? She asked. What did you all do? Jason looked around, lowered his voice. You need to listen to me, okay? It was never supposed to get this far. It started as something small, a cover-up, hush money, but then people started asking questions. Emma's hands curled into fists. You were going to let me die. I tried to warn you. The voicemail, that was me. She stared at him, everything inside her shaking. You left me for dead, Jason. No, he said. I left you alive. That was the deal. What deal? He looked her straight in the eye. If you stayed dead, they wouldn't come after you. Emma stared at Jason like he was a stranger. If I stayed dead, they wouldn't come after me. Jason nodded slowly. You were asking too many questions at work. You noticed the missing money, the fake accounts. You started putting pieces together you didn't even know you were holding. Emma took a step back. I thought it was just personal. Claire. You. Lies. Affairs. But this. What is this? Jason looked around, lowered his voice. It's bigger than us. Mr. Lewis is the front. He runs the firm, but someone else runs him. Investors. People who've laundered millions through fake employees and ghost departments. Emma shook her head. That's why the others were on the list. He nodded. They found out. Or got close. And when they did, they were either paid to vanish or forced to. Her heart dropped. So what was I? You were supposed to take the money and leave. But I didn't take anything. You didn't get the offer, Jason said. Mr. Lewis wanted you scared, not bribed. You were too smart. You'd keep digging. Emma clenched her fists. So you all decided to let me burn in a car crash? No. I didn't know until after. I swear. The night it happened, Claire told me you were dead. I thought. She cut him off. Claire knew. He hesitated. That was her answer. Emma turned to leave, but Jason grabbed her arm. Emma, listen. If you go back, if you try to expose them, they'll bury you. For real this time. The only reason you're alive is because they think you're not a threat anymore. Emma's voice was cold. Then maybe it's time they remembered who I am. She pulled away and walked fast, disappearing into the night. Back at the cabin, she made two decisions. 1. She would disappear again, but on her terms. 2. Before she did, she'd bring the whole operation down. She pulled out her notebook and wrote a final heading at the top of a fresh page, The Trap, and under it, Claire. Jason. Lewis, I know everything. Now I just need one of you to slip. Emma had one shot. She didn't have power. She didn't have protection, but she had proof and one last move. She spent the next 2 days collecting everything, screenshots, voice memos, documents from the HR files she took, and every message Jason and Claire ever sent her. She even recorded her talk with Jason outside the library, all of it, carefully labeled, uploaded, and backed up. She created a private folder online, set it to autosend to a list of reporters, lawyers, and 2 anonymous tip sites. If she didn't check in every 12 hours, it was her dead man's switch. She called it confession. And then she baited the hook. Emma sent one message to Mr. Lewis. From a new number. No name. Just 6 words. We both know I'm not dead. 10 minutes later, her phone rang. Blocked number, she answered. Said nothing. Mr. Lewis's voice came through, smooth and calm, too calm. Emma. I was hoping we'd talk. She smiled to herself. Hooked. Let's meet, she said. One time. Just us. No police. No games. I'll hand everything over and disappear for good. When? Tomorrow. 9 p.m. The old warehouse off Mill Street. Why there? Because it's quiet. And if you try anything, I've already made sure people will know. Click. The trap was set. The next night, Emma waited at the warehouse, phone in one pocket, pepper spray in the other, and a recording device on her wrist. 9:03 p.m. a black SUV pulled up. She expected Lewis. Maybe Jason, but the person who stepped out, Claire, alone, wearing all black. Hair tied back. No smile. Emma stood still. I thought I'd be seeing Lewis, she said. Claire walked closer, calm as ice. You think he's the boss? She said softly. Emma. I'm the one who made the list. Emma blinked. You. Claire nodded. I was protecting us. The company. You were slipping. Asking questions. If I didn't act first, they would've. You think I wanted this? Emma's hand tightened around the pepper spray. Then why are you here now? Claire looked her dead in the eyes. Because I'm not here to talk. I'm here to finish what you started. Emma's fingers curled tighter around the pepper spray. Claire stood just feet away, hands empty, voice calm, but her eyes, cold. Calculating. Gone. I covered for you, Emma said, her voice low. I trusted you. Claire tilted her head. And I kept you alive longer than anyone else on that list. That should count for something. Don't act like this was mercy, Emma snapped. You were protecting yourself. And Jason. And Lewis. All of you lied. Claire took a slow step forward. You don't get it. They were going to take you out anyway. I convinced them to let it look like an accident. Gave you a soft exit. If you had stayed gone, none of this would have happened. Emma stared at her. So now what? You kill me for real? No, Claire said, reaching into her coat. I'm giving you the same deal again. She pulled out a flash drive and tossed it toward Emma's feet. Take it, Claire said. It's everything: names, bank trails, meeting notes, private chats. The full rot. Give that to the right people, and this company goes down. Lewis, the investors, Jason. All of it. Emma didn't move. What's the catch? She asked. Claire shrugged. You disappear. For good this time. No headlines. No stories. You vanish, or we both go down. Emma stared at the flash drive. Truth. Or peace. The cold metal seemed to glow under the warehouse light. Her hand hovered over it. Why give me the choice? She asked. Claire's voice finally cracked, just a little. Because I miss who we were before all this. And maybe. I don't want your blood on my hands. A long silence, then Emma reached down and picked up the flash drive. Claire let out a slow breath. I won't look for you again, she said. You won't find me, Emma replied. They locked eyes one last time, and then Emma walked out into the dark. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Shishi Fairy Tales, to get more interesting stories weekly.